Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a little late today. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is Wednesday, March 26th, and I'm going to talk about Beyond the Gates. And again, I apologize for being late. I also apologize for what may be a chaotic review. It was really hard to group things in order today. I was paying attention to the conversations and then forgetting I needed to take notes. So I'd have to scroll back up and try to find the right spot, and then we'd be in another scene. So it's all over the place. But I'm gonna do my best. Bear with me, please. All right. So we pick up where we left off with Chelsea telling Danny that she's done with modeling. Danny thinks it's a prank. She's looking around like where her phone is hidden. She thinks she's about to go viral again, that it's a joke. Chelsea's like, no, this is real. I want to have my own line. And Danny's like, well, maybe one day we can start our own line. And I was like, Danny, you're not listening. But Chelsea's like, no, Kat and I have already done so much work. I know everything about the ins and out of our business. We're doing this from the ground up. Danny asked her why she didn't tell her sooner. Like, if she had time to do all this work, why wouldn't she tell her? And Chelsea says she didn't because of when she finally made the decision. That was around the same time everything came out about Bill and Haley. And she just didn't want to add to the pain that Danny was already going through, which is commendable. But like, as a parent, the last thing you want to hear is that your child was suffering to protect you from suffering. Y'all hear the microwave going on, because I'm not cooking dinner today because I'm running late. So we're microwaving. Don't judge us. It's healthy food, frozen food. All right. Anyway, yeah. So it was sad to see Danny's reaction to the fact that Chelsea was trying to protect her. Like, as a mom, I felt that it was really, really sad. I really appreciated the scene. And ultimately, Danny made me proud in that scene. We'll see where it goes. And Chelsea was like, really? Once Danny said she supported her. Well, no, Chelsea, seeing the look on Danny's face, she was like, never mind, I'll do it. You already have the contract done. And she reaches for the contract, and Danny snatches it back and tears it up. And Chelsea's like, why would you do that? Danny said, because you don't want to do this anymore. And Chelsea's like, oh, you're really okay with it? Danny's like, well, I didn't say I was okay with it. But she didn't want to stifle her. She doesn't want to give her the same kind of hard time her mother gave her when she wanted to do her own thing. Very, very normal mother-daughter kind of thing, You wish they would just listen so you can protect them from everything you go through, but that's not how you learn. Right? That's not how you learn. It's just growing. You don't learn until you learn, and you have to grow and you have to experience. It's just hard to... Well, it's hard to be in either position. I am a mother with a daughter. I also have a mother, so I am a daughter. I know you guys can relate. Not to leave the guys out. This is a mother conversation. And then the conversation goes on. Danny just says, 2 years in her career, she was a top model, right up there with Naomi Campbell and Beverly Johnson. I need to look up their ages, because how old is Danny supposed to be? Like, well, I guess maybe they were further along in their careers when she had just started. Maybe that's what would make it make sense. But like, the woman looks good. She looks young. No one would think that she was old enough to have the kids the age of the children she had. To think she has her oldest daughter will be a lawyer, will have went to college, then law school, and be practicing for a while. I'm gonna reach over here and turn off my ice machine so it's not more noise. Sorry, I forgot to do it earlier. All right, focus. All right, but Danny's supportive. She does say that she's so proud of her and that she gets it. She said, I had to do me, you have to do you. All right, so then we see Jacob at the diner, and Haley's at the diner, and Jacob comes in. So Haley's looking over, and I didn't realize what was happening at first. Like, I didn't know which Haley we was gonna get. The Haley that pretends to be all innocent, or the sassy Haley that wants to, throw her newfound status in everyone's face. But she congratulates him on his job promotion. And I really like the music in this scene. It was very old school, soulful. I was like, I love this show. It was like such a vibe. And so I say I like the music. That's in my note. In my mind, I hear, I like the music. You know, baby, the melody, it's really nice. But I know you're not going to say that song. All right. For anyone as old as me, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're younger, you probably don't know what the hell that is. But it means it's time to clean up on Sunday. All right. Or Saturday. Focus. And now, Jacob is like, Haley wants Jacob to work with her to reconcile Bill and Naomi. Jacob was like, no. I'm staying out of that. I'm supporting my wife. Haley says, well, you know, the marriage was already had its own issues before Bill and I. And Jacob was like, oh, let me guess. My wife doesn't understand me, blah, 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 blah. I was like, Jacob, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good Bill impression. That's a pretty good cheap man impression. Which I do believe is an impression because I don't sense that Jacob actually has that in his character. So, beyond Gates, don't go running Jacob. Not yet. Just like I don't want you to run Vernon and Anita's relationship, don't go running Naomi and Jacob. Y'all scared me with Naomi's attitude when he had to arrest Danny. So let's keep them together. Let's keep him a good man. You need a couple of good characters, a good moral compass characters on the show. I feel like somebody in my chat brought that up. I don't remember who. I'm sorry. I think it was like when I first started my channel, we talked about it, and it might have been Dolomedics and Kyrese. We were talking. I think Naomi was the one. All right, sorry. Let me focus, y'all. I just drank my coffee. Like normally, I have my coffee a little bit before I do my review, but I just chugged the last of it and then came right over here. So I think I'm like just trying to focus. All right, and I think this is where my notes start to get a little chaotic. All right, I'm gonna come back to that. All right, so this is probably out of order, but I have Kat seeing Thomas at the diner. She's about to sit down, and then after she sit down, and he makes a face, and she's like, oh, are you on a date? This must be for someone else. And he's like, girl, sit down. I'm just distracted about work. He tells her about the case with Naomi and Bill. When she asks who the case is against, he can't tell the name, of course, but he was like, remember that jerk I told you about? And Kat was like, oh, him. Well, yeah, I believe the women. I was like, Kat is smart. But Tomas is more worried about his career because he's worked very hard to get where he is, and what happens to Bill basically happens to him. That it's like if you go to a college and then right after you get your degree from that college, the college files bankruptcy or is found to be like unaccredited. What is your degree really worth because of association? So what kind of job is Tomas going to be able to get moving forward if Bill's firm has found to be a hostile work environment, which we know it is. And so Tomas tells her the real kicker about everything, that Naomi is the one bringing the case. And that made me think, are we setting up for them to be star-crossed lovers? I'm not so sure Eva might also play a role in that, because I don't think Tomas is a good guy. Because he seems so sincere when he flirts with Kat, but he seems very sincere when he flirts with Eva. That's a dog. But taking Eva out of it, it gives me that they're going to have, you know, Kat and on one side and Tomas on the other side, Bill, Naomi, you know, family, work and family. Very, what is the play? Not Romeo and Juliet, but the families. Montague and Capulet, you know. Hopefully it'll end better than that ended. Kat says her parents are the real deal. They were talking about the tension and the how Bill cheated on Danny. And Kat says her parents are the real deal. I said, girl, your daddy cheated on your mama. He had a whole affair and probably a baby. If we really don't know how that's going to play out, because I don't trust Leslie's ass either, but it's not as wonderful as Kat thinks it is, unfortunately. I don't even remember how this came up, but she must have said something about fantasy, because then Tomas was asking her if she fantasized about him. And she was like, what do you think? And then he was like, you fantasize about sex? I was like, girl, stop. Y'all in a diner in the middle of the day. Stop it. There's a time and a place. And then to Kat's credit, she immediately said, I don't think this is a time and a place for that. I was like, okay, girl, thank you. All right. Then the next note I have, we were talking about. No, that's not in order either. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. Let me. I think the part I skipped back. Yeah, here we go. I think I do this part, and then I can do the next part. All right. So, nope, that's not right either. Let me go ahead and so hurt it myself. I'm trying to find the section that talks about Bill and Naomi, the like first part of it. But I'm like at the other scenes here. All right, so Bill we pick it up where we left off, where he was getting served, and he's, belittling her, telling Naomi that, like, oh, you're just doing this to get my attention. So Bill is very dismissive of the lawsuit, acts like it's no big deal, says she seems desperate for his attention, and that the man he's been working with for decades, Mike, isn't like that. Even though we know, Bill, you had to check Mike yourself just like yesterday, or even earlier today. It's so shiny. I think I'm sweaty. It's that glow. All right, got my fan on. All right, back to focus. So Bill thinks that Naomi is doing this to get it all about to get his attention, and he keeps calling her sweetheart in a very demeaning kind of way. Like, no woman wants to be called sweetheart by a man in that tone. Like, it's very insulting in a lot of different ways. Bill suggests that she withdraws the complaint, that he will do the right thing and investigate and take appropriate action. She's like, stop calling me sweetheart. It's giving sexist. Naomi says Bill knew what Mike was up to, but ignored his actions because of money. And that's essentially what Bill had said to Tomas yesterday. Well, yesterday for us, but hours ago for them, I believe. Like in the, I think they were in Bill's office, in the same office. Bill, and I can see what Bill is going to do in the courtroom. He did what he did today in the conversation. He kept like distracting her and throwing in personal details to throw her off her balance, if that makes sense. And I can definitely see that that's going to be his method of operation moving forward. But I think if Naomi can stay focused and remember that this is about those women and not her and not Bill, I think she'll get the best of him. And I look forward to that day. She tries to redirect, but he threatens her, says, you're going to end up with nothing. Women will get nothing. They'll laugh you out of court. Says it's just a smear campaign, and then he keeps calling her sweetheart. And he's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to drop this? She's like, I'll see you in court. She was cold with it, too. All right. So then we see Bill go home. And now I'm trying to find that note. Bill goes home. Haley is excited to show him her outfit. She was like, I know I was supposed to be buying furniture, but I got this and this and this. And I was just applauding her yesterday for asking, even though she shouldn't have to ask permission, but the way that she called Bill and asked before she bought that piece of furniture, whatever it was, it made it less hard to say she was all about the money. At least she was trying to check in, worry about the budget. But then when she was showing off her outfits, which it just looked like a bunch of coats to me, but I live in Baltimore, so it gets cold in Baltimore. So Bill tells Haley about Naomi and the lawsuit, and I don't like that Haley said this, because I would have liked to wonder, even if it was nothing down the road, just having the possibility swirling around in my mind is fun. Because you guys know, watching soaps, a lot of the fun is your own thoughts and your own brain about the theories and possibilities of what could be happening. So I like the idea of wondering if Haley slept with Mike. If Haley got that job, not just because the other woman didn't do what Mike wanted, but because of what Haley wanted, might have, but from at least what Haley told Bill, is that Mike was always a perfect gentleman to her. Now it could be she trying to cover herself, but that's not. I didn't see any subtext to make me believe that. I just in my mind, but I don't have anything to back that up. So it's probably not going to be the case unless they're saving it for later to give us a flashback or something, which I wouldn't be opposed to. As Bill is telling Haley about it, you can hear that he's kind of proud of Naomi. But he still thinks it's all about him. He's like, whether she knows it or not, this is her way of reaching out to connect with me. And I wanted to be dismissive of that, but then it's something, which I probably have it in my notes, but it's something that Naomi says later to Jacob that made me be like, this is how y'all family, like, fight and make up? All right. I guess rich people have problems too. Bill says that the lawsuit is frivolous, says it's just a bunch of hysterical women. And Haley does make a face reacting to that, as any woman would, sitting beside your man talking about women are hysterical when, like, we know how hard it is. Like, you can walk out your door, go right or go left, and make 10 feet before somebody harass you. Then Mike calls Bill, and while Bill is out of the room, Haley leaves. Alright. I think my notes might be in order from here on out. I just gotta find a right spot. We talked about Kat and Tomas. Talked about that. I'm sorry. Thank y'all so much for being patient with me. Alright, so we see Martin and Smitty, and the last place we had saw them is where Smitty was confronting Martin. Smitty was confronting Martin about not being honest about him wanting to run for office, while also being very dismissing of his career aspirations. Ooh, I was not disappointed by Martin and Smitty scenes today, y'all. I know y'all won't either, but I gotta go in order so I can get there. Excuse me. Alright, so Martin basically gaslights Smitty the whole time. He's like, oh, we couldn't talk to each other. We need to work on our communication. Neither one of us was honest with each other. Y'all cannot stand men like that. And I'm so glad that I'm at the age where I can see it in a man, in a person. Because younger Nikisha, I'm like, oh, he's being so vulnerable. I'm so glad I can see the bullshit now. And I talk a lot of shit about Martin, but let me just give a shout out to the actor. I don't know his name. But good for him for being able to make me hate him. Y'all might hear dishes in the background. It's my daughter doing the dishes. Chores. Sorry. You don't have to be that quiet. It's fine. She's moving like trying not to make any noise. And it's like, you know, this is a real house. I'm a real mom. She's a real teenager doing real chores. Thank you guys for understanding. Alright, so Martin says that they don't make time for each other. Smitty says, but you could have told me. Martin says, oh, I didn't know how. And I'm like, dude, he literally asked you like minutes ago, or a couple of hours ago, did you have aspirations for higher office? And you dismissed it. Martin still dismisses Smitty's valid concern about the kids and how him running for office will not just affect Martin, not just affect Smitty, but the kids. Martin makes it all about him. Oh, it doesn't feel great to not have my husband support me. It was just like, he might as well have like gaslighting narcissists and flashing lights above his head. And it made me so sad that Smitty, because Smitty seems really intelligent, but he can't see it. But when you in it, it's hard to see. I feel so bad for him. All right. So then we're back. We see Chelsea at the club. She runs into Naomi. They talk briefly about the decision. Wait, I don't think that's right. No, it's not Naomi. It's Nicole. Chelsea sees Nicole. Briefly talks about her decision. Chelsea tells Nicole that, you know, her mom was supportive of her. Then we see Danny at home, replaying conversations in her head. I started counting. I was like, 1, 2, 3. I was counting to see how many seconds it was going to take her to get to that bottle. But when she reached in the cabinet, I was like, damn, 23 seconds, Danny. Not even 30 seconds. But when she put out the picture frame, I was like, oh, my bad. I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions, right? And she's just reminiscing over everything she gave up for Bill, what she feels like she had. And it's like, Danny, you look amazing. Like, I don't understand. I hope Danny takes Chelsea's place in the fashion show. Hopefully that's where they're going. Because Danny she can give anybody half her age competition out here. She's stunningly beautiful. And she knows the ins and outs of the business. So I can see success for her, even, you know, even at her big age. I thought when they zoomed in on the picture, I thought that was a nice scene, like a metaphor. The picture frame is broken, Danny is broken. Just good direction there. Next time we see Danny, she's ignoring Nicole's phone call and pouring a drink. I was like, oh. So it took a few more minutes than I thought, but we all knew that's where that was going. And I feel bad for Danny, but I'm still not at the position like where I want to judge her. Like I know I was the only one, but in 2020 I was heavy-handed with the bottle too. Not so much liquor, but wine. And you know, I don't know. You're grown up, you know, you have moments. It's okay. So Danny's pouring a drink, talking to the magazine, but also talking, you know, to her younger self. What she said all these things before about how she gave up her career. She was on top of the world. All the designers were tripping over her little young self or something like that. I do appreciate the dialogue in this show. It sounds like stuff people really say without like a stereotypical sound. Like, hey, yo, shorty. I don't even know why I did that. I'm embarrassed. But y'all know what I mean. You know how it is on some shows. It's like where you just have, when it's not even like satire, it'll be like an SNL skit type of thing, like making a parody of culture and the dialect that, you know, we have to each other, and so, or to ourselves. So I will take any chance I can to applaud Beyond the Gates for that. Nicole comes over anyway, and she kind of hovers where Danny doesn't see her, and she sees that Danny's drinking, and I'm very curious to see what she's going to do next. Because you can't confront, like, I don't know that Danny is the type to respond well to an intervention unless they have, like, a good intervention, like they did on General Hospital for Luke that time, where everybody wrote their letter. But even that, I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think that worked for Luke. Luke was like, nah, I don't have a drinking problem. The kids should have ran in the road. I don't even think I hit him for real. And then come to find out, Jake won't even dead. So, like, oh, that's what I hate about rewrites. You undo this beautiful story. Okay, we're not talking about General Hospital. I complain about General Hospital so much, I'm complaining about General Hospital in my Beyond the Gates review. Y'all, I'm sorry. All right, so we have Chelsea and Kat at the club. Chelsea's telling Kat how Danny supports her. Kat tells Chelsea about Bill and Naomi. Chelsea is surprised that Naomi didn't tell her herself. And Kat says, well, Naomi didn't tell me. Wait. Yeah, Naomi didn't tell me. I had to make sure I wasn't getting Naomi and Nicole mixed up again. Says Naomi didn't tell me. Says Tomas told her. And, you know, she's just got the starry love eyes all in her face. Chelsea can see it. That Kat is really, really invested in Tomas. Kat does tell Chelsea that she overheard Eva flirting with Tomas. And, excuse me, I'm so sorry, y'all. Chelsea asked, does Tomas flirt back? And Kat was like, oh, he has better taste than that. I was like, girl, you weren't paying attention. Not just because, like, I know she doesn't know what happened at the hospital, but if she was really paying attention to them at the club that day, he was not dismissive of Eva's flirtation. He was right there with her. That's why I can't trust him. Chelsea still feels bad about disappointing her mom, but Kat tries to reassure her. I really do like their friendship, well, their cousinship, their relationship. Even though I don't like Kat that much, even though I could like Kat if it wasn't for how mean she is to Eva. And I get it, Eva full of shit. But Kat don't know that, she just thinks that. You can't treat somebody bad just because of what you think. Like, and it's not even smart to, like, it's better to, like, just sit back and observe. That's what I do. You won't know what I think until I want you to know what I think. I make myself sound like a super villain or something. It's not. But I think we're all like, can be like that if we want to be like that. It's better to, you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth. It's better to watch and listen more than you speak. That's what my mama said. And my mom may never steer me wrong. All right, so we have Jacob and Naomi at the diner. Jacob is telling Naomi about Haley asking for his help. Naomi's like, did you tell that bitch to go to hell? Jacob was like, well, I ain't put it like that. And I'm glad, because she wouldn't want him to say that. I can't imagine Jacob telling that to a woman. Naomi tells Jacob about her interaction with Bill, and like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but I wrote that she basically misses him. Toxic. Like, and of course you're gonna miss your dad, but this is gonna be messy, y'all, and I'm actually excited to see it in the courtroom. Feelings are gonna get hurt, and ultimately at the end of the day, I want Naomi to win the case, and I think she would if it's fair and square. But we can't forget that Bill has something on the Duprees and Martin. We assume it's Martin, but he definitely knows something about the Duprees, and he may try to get them to influence her. But who's to say it will work? My last note on that is Jacob seems like a really, really, really good man. He really does. All right, so then we see Martin and Smitty at the diner. I'm sorry, it's 25 minutes, y'all. I just went off on so many tangents. Martin and Smitty are at the diner. We see the guy who I found out is Evan, who wanted to offer Smitty a job at Nicole's event. And Martin looks terrified. His eyes is red and everything. I'm like, damn, he is a good actor because he looks shook. Like, how you make your eyes red? Like, I don't know. Well, I know. Yep. All right, sorry. All right, so Smitty, actually, Martin tries to hide behind the menu. Smitty sees Evan and calls him over. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. Don't y'all play with me. Yes, yes. I was waiting for it. But then I was afraid we was going to commercial or Martin was going to interrupt so it wouldn't come out. But dude said it was like, hey, Smitty, yeah, I really wish you would take that job I offered you. You know that your husband said you didn't want. I was like, oh, shit. I was yelling. I was so excited. So thank you, Beyonce Gates, for letting him spill the beans and not dragging that out any more than we have. I appreciate that. I can't wait till tomorrow. That's what I'm most excited about for tomorrow's episode. And we better pick back up there. Don't make me wait till later in the week, please. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm tired of seeing Smitty be so nice. I'm tired of him being so understanding and letting Martin manipulate him the way that he does. Like, I get it. Martin is good at it. It's hard to see the toxicness when you in it, but from what I see, Smitty deserves better. And I wouldn't mind it if Smitty investigates and find out what Martin did. And that's what he gets. That should be what he gets. All right, so then it's about the end of the show. We see Haley, I guess Jacob left. I don't know if Jacob left. He was in the bathroom, but it's Naomi by herself at the table. And Haley comes up and slams down. What the hell are you doing? I'm like, bitch, you mind your business. You done already took her daddy. Stop. But that's how we ended. That was the cliffhanger. But the real cliffhanger for me was Smitty and Martin and Evan. So I think it was a pretty good episode. I'm sorry for my delivery. Like I said, I was really engrossed with the show. So sometimes it's hard to take notes, and especially when we go from scene to scene and have characters moving around, it's just hard to know how to organize it. You guys know I'm still learning. If you have any hints, if you can help me out, comment below. You know, guys, I love your feedback. But I'm almost 30 minutes in, almost damn as long as this show, and I don't have to make dinner now, as usual, because kids microwave. But I do have to watch General Hospital and get that review done. So it'll probably be about 10 o'clock by the time I get that uploaded. But by the time you guys watch this, it won't matter. All right. I do this every day. I need to put like a sign up here that says, don't keep rambling after you finish. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you so much.